Once upon a time, in a kingdom filled with blooming gardens and sparkling rivers, a joyful baby princess named Aurora was born. The whole kingdom celebrated with music, dancing, and colorful flowers. 3 kind fairies came to give her magical gifts. Fairy Rose gave her the gift of beauty. Fairy Melody gave her the gift of a sweet voice. But before the 3rd fairy could give her gift, an uninvited, grumpy fairy named Thorn appeared. Thorn, upset about not being invited, cast a spell. When Aurora turns 16, she will prick her finger on a spinning wheel and fall into a deep sleep forever. Everyone gasped, but the 3rd fairy, Fairy Glow, quickly softened the curse. She will not sleep forever. She will only sleep until a kind heart wakes her with true love's kiss. The king ordered every spinning wheel in the land to be destroyed. Aurora grew up happy in a little cottage, cared for by the 3 fairies, never knowing she was a princess. She played with animals, sang in the forest, and dreamed of adventure. One day, just before her 16th birthday, Aurora wandered into an old tower. There, she found a strange spinning wheel she had never seen before. Curious, she reached out prick and instantly fell into a magical sleep. The fairies placed her in the castle on a soft, golden bed. They spread the spell so that everyone in the castle also fell asleep, and a wall of thick, thorny roses grew around it. Many years later, a brave and kind prince heard the story of the sleeping princess. With courage in his heart, he cut through the thorny vines and found Aurora. Gently, he kissed her hand. The curse broke. Aurora opened her eyes and smiled. The whole castle awoke, and bells rang joyfully across the land. Aurora and the prince became great friends, and later, they ruled the kingdom with kindness and laughter. And so, the princess who once slept for many years lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the shining kingdom of Lunaria, there lived a gentle and kind princess named Ariel. She was loved by her people, not only because she was beautiful, but because she had a brave heart and always cared for everyone in the land. Every morning, Princess Ariel would walk through the royal gardens, talking to the flowers, feeding the doves, and listening to the whispers of the wind. But one morning, something strange caught her eye. Beneath a silver rose bush hidden under soft petals, she saw a faint glow. Curious, she knelt down and uncovered an ancient crystal staff. The staff glittered with rainbow light, and to her surprise, it whispered softly, "Princess, the kingdom needs your light." Startled, Arya carried the staff to the castle library, where the wise old scholar Master Cedric studied ancient magic. "This," he said, adjusting his spectacles, "is the legendary Staff of Light, once held by the first queen of Lunaria. It holds the power to protect our land. But remember, Princess, the staff's true strength does not come from magic alone. It comes from kindness and courage." That very evening, a terrible shadow spread across the skies. The evil sorcerer Malcor rose from the mountains, wielding a staff of black fire. "Lunaria will fall," he thundered. With one strike, he covered the kingdom in endless night. The sun disappeared, the rivers grew dark, and flowers wilted in fear. The people rushed to the palace gates, frightened. Princess Arya stepped onto the balcony, holding the glowing staff. "Do not be afraid," she called. "I will bring back the light." With her loyal unicorn Starfall, whose mane shone like starlight, Arya rode into the Forest of Echoes, the first place Malcor's shadows had touched. The trees whispered haunting voices. "You are too weak. You will fail. Turn back." But Arya gripped her staff. "I am not afraid," she said. The crystal lit up, casting a circle of light that silenced the voices. Starfall neighed proudly, and together they pressed on. At the forest's edge lay a broken bridge across a deep canyon. Shadow creatures with glowing red eyes blocked the way. Starfall trembled, his hooves skidding back. Arya raised her staff. Kindness is stronger than fear. She struck the ground, and the staff released a rainbow path across the canyon. The shadows hissed and vanished into mist, unable to fight against her courage. At last, they reached the Mountain of Fire, where Malcor's dark magic burned strongest. Inside the cave, flames danced on black stone walls. Malcor appeared, tall and menacing. His eyes glowed with fire. "You think a child with a stick can defeat me?" he mocked. "This is no ordinary stick," Arya said firmly. "This is the Staff of Light, and it carries the hope of my people." With a wave of his staff, Malcor hurled fireballs at her. Starfall shielded her, and Arya lifted her staff high. Golden beams of light clashed against Malcor's flames, filling the cave with sparks of shadow and light. The cave trembled as the staffs collided. Malcor shouted, "Darkness will always win," but Arya stood tall. "No, darkness cannot win where there is love." Her words filled the crystal staff with brilliant power. Light exploded from it, brighter than the sun, forming a rainbow beam that struck Malcor's dark staff. Crack! The dark staff shattered into pieces, and Malcor screamed as the shadows vanished, leaving only silence and peace. As Arya stepped out of the cave, the dark clouds above Lunaria broke apart. Sunlight poured down, rivers sparkled again, and flowers bloomed brighter than ever. The people cheered as their princess returned, riding Starfall with the staff glowing gently in her hand. In the palace, Arya placed the magical staff in the Hall of Queens, where it would rest until Lunaria truly needed it again. From that day on, the people of Lunaria remembered. True power does not come from magic or weapons. It comes from kindness, bravery, and believing in yourself. And so, Princess Arya lived happily ever after, protecting her kingdom with love, courage, and light.
Once upon a time, in a shining golden castle, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Lila. She loved to play in the royal gardens, where bright flowers bloomed and butterflies danced. One sunny morning, Princess Lila sat by the sparkling fountain, holding her favorite golden ball. She tossed it high into the air, giggling. But plop! The ball slipped from her hands and fell into the deep fountain. "Oh no!" she cried. "My favorite ball is gone!" Just then, a little green frog hopped onto the fountain's edge. "Why are you sad, princess?" he asked politely. Princess Lila gasped. "You can talk!" the frog chuckled. "Yes, I can. And I can help you too. If I fetch your golden ball, will you promise to be my friend? Let me sit with you, eat with you, and share your company?" Princess Lila didn't really want a frog as a friend, but she was desperate. "Yes, I promise," she said. With a splash, the frog dove into the fountain and quickly popped back up with the golden ball. Lila clapped her hands in joy and ran back to the castle with her ball, forgetting her promise. That evening, as the princess dined in the grand hall, a soft knock, knock, knock echoed at the door. When the servants opened it, there was the frog. "Princess Lila," he croaked, "you promised to let me eat with you." Lila felt guilty but remembered her words. She gently placed the frog beside her plate. Though the king and queen were surprised, they reminded her, "A true princess always keeps her promises." The frog ate happily, then asked, "May I sleep on your pillow tonight, princess?" Lila hesitated but nodded. That night, she placed the frog carefully on her pillow. As she lay down, the frog whispered, "Thank you for being kind. Good night, princess." When the first rays of morning sunlight touched her cheeks, Princess Lila opened her eyes and gasped. The frog was gone. In his place stood a handsome prince, smiling warmly. He bowed and said, "I was under a wicked spell. Only the kindness of a true princess could break it. Because you kept your promise, I am free." Overjoyed, Princess Lila and Prince Adrian became the best of friends. Together, they laughed, explored magical lands, and shared many adventures. And so, the princess learned that kindness and keeping your word are the truest forms of magic. And they lived happily ever after. Sunlight pierces the crystal waters of Atlantica, revealing a coral reef bursting with life and color. Ariel's laughter echoes through the reef as she gathers treasures, her joy illuminating the underwater world. Flounder frantically trails behind, while Sebastian scuttles along the ocean floor, his stern expression a stark contrast to Ariel's exuberance. Sunlight dances through the crystal-clear water, painting the coral reef in radiant hues. Ariel follows the sound of soft crying to a small seahorse, alone and lost among the swaying anemones. "What's wrong, little one?" Ariel asks, her voice gentle with concern. After a long search, the echoes of cheerful whinnies lead Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian toward a radiant sea cave. There they are. A chorus of seahorses celebrates, their tiny eyes sparkling with delight. "You're a true friend of the sea," the seahorse's mother declares. her voice filled with warmth as Ariel responds, "Helping others is the best treasure of all." In the sun-drenched room, Milo's mom sleeps peacefully, unaware of the tiny storm brewing in the eyes of her feline observer. Milo, a small kitten brimming with playful mischief, conceives a daring plan to celebrate his mom's birthday. With the stealth of a seasoned spy, Milo carefully snips off a lock of her hair, envisioning the perfect birthday surprise. In the tempestuous evening, Milo bursts from the house into the storm, the rain instantly soaking him. A terrifying dog materializes from the shadows, its red eyes piercing the gloom. Milo struggles, his small paws losing grip in the mud as the menacing growl closes in. "Oh no!" In the cozy house, Milo stands, his small hands trembling as he offers his mother a handmade purse and necklace. "I'm sorry, Mama. I just wanted to make you a special gift." Mom accepts the gifts, her face softening as she responds, "Thank you, Milo. This is the most special gift I've ever received."
In a bright, cheerful forest near a shimmering lake lived a tiny duckling named Dodo. One sunny afternoon, as Dodo waddled along the water's edge, he heard a faint cry coming from the bushes. Curious and concerned, he followed the sound and found a tiger cub trapped in a tangle of vines, his paws stuck and eyes full of tears. Though Dodo was small, he didn't hesitate. With determination, he tugged and poked at the vines. Until snap, the tiger cub was free. The cub beamed with joy and hugged his new friend. Dodo and cub, best friends forever, proving small heart's power.
Once upon a time, in the magical kingdom of Prismara, there lived a kind and curious princess named Ariel, known as the Rainbow Princess. She wore a crown made of 7 glowing gems, each representing a color of the rainbow. Every morning, Princess Ariel would wave her wand in the sky and paint the world with vibrant colors: red roses, orange butterflies, yellow sunbeams, green forests, blue rivers, indigo clouds, and violet lilacs. One day, a dark fog rolled into Prismara, and with it came the wicked shadow sorcerer who stole the colors of the kingdom, turning everything gray and gloomy. Without colors, the flowers wilted, the birds stopped singing, and even the people lost their laughter. Aria's rainbow crown dimmed, and the kingdom cried. Determined to bring back the colors, Princess Aria set out on a journey, riding her silver-winged unicorn named Lumi through the fading lands. She visited the Cavern of Crystals and solved the riddle of red, returning the first spark of color to her crown and to the roses of the land. In the Whispering Woods, she danced with glowing fireflies who gave her the lost orange light hidden in their wings. At the Golden Hill, she sang a lullaby to the sleeping sun, and it rose, gifting her the yellow warmth it had been guarding. Next, in the Emerald Lake, she bravely swam with the gentle water dragons, who returned the green hues hidden beneath their shimmering scales. Once up in the Sky Palace, she flew through the sapphire wind, and the blue returned to the rivers and skies. In the Twilight Peaks, she faced the indigo storm and calmed it with her kindness, earning the 6th color back. Finally, in the Valley of Dreams, she met a lonely violet butterfly, the last color hidden in a dream. She gently kissed it, and the final hue returned to her crown. With all 7 colors restored, Aria flew back to Prismara, and as she waved her wand, the rainbow arched across the kingdom once more. Joy returned, the people cheered, and the flowers bloomed again. The evil sorcerer vanished with the fog, defeated by Aria's courage and kindness. From that day on, Princess Aria became the guardian of the rainbow, reminding everyone that light and love will always bring color back to the world.